Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Hopefully you're hearing our microphones a little better than you did last week. I guess I'm a little overbearing on my producer, and I blew up his headphones, so he thought we were being really loud last week.
Plus, it was really cloudy, so I think that has something to do with it, too.
Cloud cover means everything.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Big Daddy Gonzo. I am your host for this evening's festivities. Seated across from me, matriculating on your screen from left to right, or is it north to south, or are you an east-west runner?
We'll go east-west today.
Yeah, he is the Maz.
Hello.
His real first name is Matt, but his last name is like this fucking long, so we're not going to get into it. It's pronounced Maseracchio, and there's too many double letters in it.
A lot of vowels, too.
I thought I had a funny last name. My last name is Saligny.
I was one of 3 people to not get that part right on the SAT. The bubbling section, you know, where you get points for that? Yeah.
Did you miss a C?
I kept wondering why I kept getting 700s on that test, and I'm like, oh, it's got to be the name.
Double
So,
S,
yeah.
Double C, double R.
Yeah, a lot of letters.
No, it's double
No.
S.
There's no double S's. No double S's.
No, there's only one S.
There's one S. It's an M.A., there's an S.A., an R.A.
It's Maseracchio.
There's 2 C's.
2 C's.
And an H and I and an O.
So it's Maseracchio,
Matt.
not Maseracchio.
Well, it depends. My wife likes to put a little Spanish accent on there.
Maseracchio.
And it's not Spanish. It's very
Maseracchio.
Italian. So, but, yeah.
You'd be really surprised if this was a fucking sports show.
Yeah, we haven't even started yet.
We haven't even started yet. We do have a bit to unpack. Don't forget, coming up at 8 o'clock, the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk, where I will change into a totally different t-shirt that isn't a Miami Dolphins t-shirt, because this is a sports-related show. But we do like to have fun, and we sometimes drift off topic or don't even jump on the fucking topic at all. So, because we are, as the kids like to say, on one tonight. A whole lot happened. I really wish, and there's going to come a day we're going to start popping these off probably once every other day, even if it's just really short, condensed versions, because there is so much to come from the football. Okay, I don't know how it slipped into my Italian accent.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah. Do the Maseracchio one more time in that accent. There you go. Perfect.
You know from Calabria.
Perfect.
You know the Calabria Siciliana.
Nabaladan, half.
Nabaladan.
Yeah, northern part of the.
But anyway,
wow.
There you go. That's all my grandma Italian that I got.
I think that was a line from Godfather 2 right there somewhere in there. Here you go.
Yeah, that's it. Come on.
Only a matter of time.
Was it? Teach! Abort! Which is teach, the door. I love that. Don't get me started. We'll do an entire hour on The Godfather. People will be filling in around you. My 2 guests from the next show and my co-host will be standing behind you. You know, we're supposed to start at 8 o'clock, goddammit. Mm-hmm. I could go bananas with Godfather. But anyway,
okay.
We do have a lot to get to, because there was a lot that happened over the week. Not just the Players' Championship, which, by the way, congratulations, Rory McIlroy. Dominant finish in round 4. Were you watching it?
I watched some of the golf this weekend.
Jimmy Furyk turned the clock back.
Wow.
Jimmy Furyk was awesome.
His second round, was he like 8 or 9 under or something in the second round? He crushed it.
Well, you could tell they were. It was almost like you saw the round scores, and the round scores indicated pin movement, because everybody had a 74 and then a 69.
Yeah.
And then a 74 again.
Well, that course, I mean, you could be on the green, and it's a difficult course. Yeah.
But let's not drift into golf. But I'm just trying to update everybody. And of course, Odell Beckham Jr. got traded to the Browns.
Yes, he did.
Don't run that picture yet. We don't even have that picture. Don't run that picture. I'm catching everybody up. It's okay. Bo's not a sports guy. He's more of a tech guy. And I'm just throwing names around. He's like, when does the picture go out? Picture? Yes? No? Yes? But I mean, a whole lot has gone on. And to sum up, we'll go back to football and the events of the last 48 hours. Okay, we've had some cuts.
Dolphins have a new quarterback.
Yes, they do. We'll get that in a minute.
Okay, sorry. Just jumping the gun. Excited.
There's a little foreplay first.
Sorry.
This is the latest. This is the up to the minute. Vontez Burfict.
Another one.
Linebacker, Cincinnati Bengals. You being a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you're a huge fan of his, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely. One of my favorite players of all time, yeah. Do you know he's been docked $450,000 in fines in his career? Not to mention he's missed 6 games over his career. So he's missed some game checks, too.
That's a lot of donations to charity.
Yeah, a lot of local charities are glad Burfict is still in the NFL.
You're looking at like a whole entire like Boys and Girls Club building is the Vontez Burfict Memorial Building.
Yeah.
He's not even dead yet. But yeah, homeboy he got listen, He got let go because he's a pain in the ass. It's not because he's not a talented linebacker. He can hit like a truck. He's
I think he has 2 Pro Bowl selections. Pretty sure. Yeah.
It's not that he sucks.
No, real talent.
But his violent style has now started to cost him.
Yeah.
Because he's been injured a lot, along with getting, timely, unsportsmanlike conducts or unnecessary roughness or personal foul or whichever. Yeah. Just ask Antonio Brown about it.
Yeah, penalties that move the chains, unfortunately, in the wrong direction for the Ravens and other teams he's with. Bengals. Sorry, Bengals.
Coaches came in and was going, give me the one guy who is the biggest pain in our ass. Him. He's got to go. He's a great linebacker. Who cares?
But you know what, though? A guy that talented may still find a job despite all the issues and all the problems, and he's so talented. So
he's 28.
Where do you think he'll go?
Oakland jumps right to the forefront.
Wow. Like they need more players.
Cheap, he can come to Miami. If he'll work cheap. Because that's what's happening in Miami is cheap. You work cheap. Especially the first couple of years here, we're not going to. Anyway.
But as a team, though, why would you want to take a chance on a guy that his life expectancy with your team, not only is it going to be volatile, but it's going to be short-lived. So whatever he does bring to the field, is it worth it?
Well, then you'd have to have a win-now mentality.
Do the Dolphins have a win-now mentality? Good lead-in. Who they just recently?
Maybe the Jets do. They do also have his former defensive coordinator is, I believe, the linebacker coach there. He has some people there who know him.
Right.
He, I believe, isn't it Greg Williams?
Yes.
The defensive coordinator.
Yes.
He likes nasty, violent players.
Yeah. Well, listen. There is a room for him on a team, but knowing it's going to be short-lived and knowing there's going to be tons of baggage. I mean, you have to kind of weigh it out, see if it's worth it.
With all the moves that the Jets made, they are in win-now mode. So they're ready to jump up and wag their finger in New England's face. I don't know, but a defensive piece, the caliber of Burfict, or he could end up in Baltimore. Another team, by the way, that he has had run-ins with. Can you imagine Vontaze Burfict playing in Baltimore? I mean, we've seen Brian Cox play for the New York Jets. So anything is possible now.
I mean, Cox was an amazing talent. I think more talented than Burfict. But Cox, too, I mean, he had his good moments on the field. He wasn't – I think a lot of that was a lot of – listen, the NFL in spots, they need that bad guy personality. They need the guy that is going to stir things up on the defensive side. Taylor was the same player. I don't want to say he was a dirty player, but he was an aggressive
I remember
player.
both. Of course, being a Dolphin fan and being a season ticket holder during the times of their development, their rise, Cox was definitely more of a surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was there for I was there for the one incident that got him on the team, and that was sticking up for the kicker.
Mm. I remember the play. Yeah.
No. That was later on in the season. That was like the 4th or 5th game of the season against the Bengals, and somebody cracked back the kicker, and he started a fucking riot.
I remember. Yeah.
He started on Monday Night Football. I know
remember.
I was down at some place at 5 Points. It was on satellite TV, but I was there at the preseason game where he did the same thing. And he didn't start a near riot. It wasn't like 8 guys coming off each bench, bang, bang, bang. But he dusted off whatever defensive backer was that cracked back Pete Stoyanovich at the time.
Yeah.
And he stepped in, and I was like, that kid right there. And then he made a few plays while he was in. He got a lot of PT, and he really showed himself. So I was
there.
It is,
two guys like that, you always hear the stories that if they're on your team, they're your favorite guy.
Yeah.
But when they're in the other locker room, you hate their guts.
Oh, hate that.
So
you hate them.
There's some validity to that, too.
Well, that's why I think that Burfict could end up anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere, and I think that he would be seen as a short-term solution, a short-term. I mean, he could end up in Arizona with Sizz with Terrell Suggs.
That's realistic.
That would be the over the hill gang.
Yeah, well,
and people have won with less.
You know what that's good for to know? That if you have in your fantasy drafts that first player arrested pool. So I am definitely going to be rooting for, although you don't draft defensive players. You have to be in an IDP league.
Yeah,
so
IDP league.
So you definitely have to draft defensive players, yeah.
But there's other football news, not college, but the Alliance of American Football. They signed Johnny Manziel
Okay.
And now he plays for Memphis.
What's his life expectancy in that league?
Yeah, his life expectancy.
We have a pool out for that yet?
Yeah, no, he.
I'm gonna go 4 games.
Oh God.
Injury-related dismissal, and then off the field stuff, and then that'll be a wrap.
No, he had 5 games with Montreal, and he played fairly well, like 66% completion.
Okay.
We know the boy can throw it around.
He can throw a few things around.
And then he got a concussion.
Yeah, well, again.
There were rumors that he had been drinking again, but it didn't affect his play. He played well.
What was he drinking?
Probably alcohol.
Okay.
I mean, he was in Canada. What is?
Well,
they have legal
Guinness.
weed too.
Well, probably Guinness.
Well, they have legal weed too. So I mean, it's not like he doesn't have ways to medicate himself.
True.
But he's with the Memphis Express, another express team like L.A. Yeah, they've been going through. They've had Hackenberg, Mettenberger, all the Bergs, and now they've got some kid, Strider, whatever his Striker, whichever. Yeah, that's a great name for a quarterback. Striker, get in there.
Striker, right.
But he and the funny part is that the new guy, the third string guy, is playing fairly well.
Okay.
So we're going to see what Johnny Football can do, though, because they're really curious. They didn't sign him so he could sit around and learn the offense.
Normally I like to wish the players luck, but I'm just going to wish the players around him luck this time. And so hopefully that situation can present some good fortune.
Why do you hate Johnny Manziel?
There's no hatred here. I'm just calling it like I see it. That's all.
And that is, he's a punk-ass squanderer.
No, not at all.
No.
He's not a squanderer. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Would you go punk ass?
Punk ass kid squandering his opportunity.
We can start punk ass, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, because his family is rich. I mean, it's not like he's not going to be successful in football and then he's not going to fall back on anything.
Maybe the reason why he's not successful in football is because he doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty nice to have a couple of landing spots.
Unlike Zach Thomas, who comes from oil money in Texas, who could have not played football and been very successful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, fair.
He cared. He loved the game. I think the reason why Manziel's still playing is because he loves the game. He really does. I mean, you do develop a love for the game.
No question. The talent is there.
Yeah.
And you've got to be in that position, you have to.
Immature.
You have to be very good at it.
He's one of those guys that is immature and stays a kid until they're like 25, 26.
And then it's too late.
And, well, in the NFL, it'll be too damn late. That's for sure. Because, by then you're either beat up or nobody's interested.
Yeah.
And the latter is the more true of all of them.
Unfortunately,
Turn down, ringer.
Unfortunately, though, in the NFL, you're playing for that second contract, not the first.
Yeah.
But again, in his situation, we said about the money, it's not really an issue. So
yeah,
he's got lots.
It's just getting a roster spot is the issue. Who wants to be the team that has Johnny Manziel and Colin Kaepernick on the same sideline? That would be a fun quarterback room, huh?
It's a boring locker room with reporters having nothing to say.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, wouldn't want to be a fly in that locker room.
Okay, well, how about we go in a different direction?
Okay,
because you gave it away, the Dolphins.
Well, you know what?
They signed a guy who is so I don't know, mediocre, middle of the road. He's had his moments. Last year, he threw 400 yards or better 5 weeks in a row.
Yes.
He had his moments.
Yes.
Okay,
but he looks like Joe Montana.
But Ryan Fitzpatrick is now a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah.
And he looks like he looks like Grizzly Adams.
Well, I'm not saying physically, but I'm saying in terms of his skill set, in terms of the stats, the numbers he puts out. I mean, looking at the box score, you think, when did they sign this guy? But then 2 weeks later, it's 200 yards, 4 picks, and it's not the same.
It's going to happen. Yeah. It's going to happen from time to time. He's shown to do that. The key with the Miami Dolphins, first of all, this guy's smart. He's really smart. He's so smart, he went to Harvard.
Harvard grad.
He went to Harvard.
Yes.
Can you believe it? My Harvard tie. Like, oh, sure, he went to Harvard.
Like he went to Harvard. Yeah, and I mean, he's a smart guy, and he wouldn't keep getting hired in the NFL if he was horrible. So he's not horrible. It's not great. He's inconsistent, but he's skillful. He's smart. He gets it. And this is now his 15th season and his 9th team.
Been around a while.
9th team. I think it's 9th. It's been What has it been? It's been the Houston Texans.
Oh gosh, there's a lot. The Jets,
the
Bills,
yeah,
the
Titans,
yes. There's one more for sure. I can't remember. It was the
Bucks.
Yeah, I think there's one more.
Was it the Texans? Oh, we already said
No,
the Texans.
No, not the Texans.
There's been a lot.
Yeah, there's been a bunch.
Like 8, 9 teams.
Yeah.
Hey, God bless him. He keeps getting hired. You know,
What do you get? 2 years, $12 million?
2 years, $12 million with incentives to go to about $20 million.
Wow.
So if he has a consistently good season,
Or just stays upright.
right?
Yeah.
And don't get excited, Dolphin fans. Don't get crazy. Even if he has a good season, some sort of miracle happens, and he leads the team to a wild card game, and we get crushed. He's not the next guy. He's just not. This year, you draft a guy. Next year,
So again,
draft a guy.
I think we talked about this last week. Directionally for the Dolphins, is this another stopgap? Is this
yes,
Okay.
yes, he is
With a plan to
he
go
is
get-
he is purposefully the transition quarterback.
well? Maybe instead of having to use that first round pick, maybe not on a quarterback. Maybe you can build around that quarterback.
Ed Oliver,
Yeah.
defensive tackle,
Got to start somewhere.
Houston Cougars,
Yeah, got to start somewhere.
absolute monster.
Yeah, either side
Aaron
of the line.
Donald.
Yeah, well,
It's one of those Aaron Donald guys. He's like 295, 300 pounds, long arms.
yeah, just don't tell Aaron Donald that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, no,
I
that's
don't like those comparisons. Can we make a rule?
everybody gets one,
Can we make a rule?
but everybody gets
Well,
one.
we don't have to follow that.
But he's a bigger Aaron Donald. He's mean too.
He's not Aaron Donald.
I know.
He's not Aaron
I know.
Donald. Aaron Donald is a proven beast.
Right, but you know that it's a copycat league, and you're going to get kids that are coming up that are chunky defensive ends, okay, 290-pound defensive ends who are too slow to get around the edge. But they've got a good burst. They got a good first step.
Yeah.
So they learn a little hand fighting, and they move into the middle, and they
Wreak havoc.
and they add a little more. You know, they add a couple more pork chops to their diet
They
every week.
become Casey Hampton.
And
Yeah.
there you go. There's another Savage. There's another guy.
Yeah.
And you guys and the Steelers play with one of those flexible defenses where he either moves from a 1 gap or a 3 gap, 1 or 3, a 1 or a 3 technique, and your ends or your linebackers either move to a 9 or a 7. 9 is out, 7 is up. Okay, see, and
You need an abacus or something?
nerd, yeah, right.
You
No,
okay?
I need to check my notes. I need to put my glasses on.
Chinese math we're doing here?
Right.
Okay.
But the point is that a guy like Ed Oliver would be perfect for the Miami Dolphins at 13. Perfect. He is a presence in the middle. He can play both 1 or 3 technique, nose tackle or defensive tackle.
You got to find somebody to fill the production of losing Wake as well.
That's where it gets tricky.
Well, I mean, he's not filling the same position, but in terms of maybe the production, the pressures, the quarterback sacks.
Right. Well, I think that's part of the reason why they're keeping Robert Quinn. I think they're keeping Robert Quinn because relative value. They paid Quinn's $1.1 million roster bonus.
Well, there's the relative value. It's
Right. Well, they wanted
money-based.
to. They said to make him more tradable. I'm like, oh, so a team now only has to eat $11.9 million of his salary. They're going to keep him. They're going to keep him because of relative value. The same guy with the same ability is going to cost the same money. So you can't replace him. So why not keep him there? Here's my problem. They're going to move to a hybrid 3-4 defense. They're going to have a flexibility. His big problem with the Rams was they had a hybrid defense and he needed to be flexible, and he was not flexible.
Yeah, I mean, you hear more and more now about these coaches and the schemes and how they build it around the certain players' skill sets.
Yep.
It seems like it's getting harder and harder to do.
Yep. So the thing with the Dolphins is they're trying really hard to trade Quinn. They may also be talking to him about an extension, and if they extend him 1 year to defer the money, they're going to give themselves cap relief, and then they can go after more defensive ends.
Sure.
Okay, but Ed Oliver would be the guy, or any of the 4 kids that play on the Clemson defensive line. Any of them. Pick one. Anyone. Don't care.
Yeah,
any of them.
They're all getting drafted.
They're all getting drafted,
Yep.
and every single one of them, 1 or 2 of them might be gone by the time Dolphins get to 13. 1 or 2 might be gone. So, they have a lot better premium options that are going to be more impact players at the defensive line position at 13 than they would have picking a quarterback. I mean, they may have the enviable position of choosing between Daniel Jones and Drew Lock. They may have that. They may be in that position. It may be quite possible.
I put a call out to Mel Kiper. I'm waiting for him to call me back.
He says Drew Lock.
Okay.
So he says Drew Lock.
Yeah, we'll see.
I want Ed Oliver.
Okay.
If you're gonna reach for somebody in the second or third round. The kid from Stanford, he's a pretty good one. Third round. You want to get a guy, put on your bench, develop, a guy with a little bit of talent. Third round. You want to get 2 defensive linemen in the first 2 rounds, or a defensive and an offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds. That's as simple as that, Dolphins. And that's me saying quarterback. Sure. I still say they should trade for Josh Rosen. Send the Cardinals a 3rd rounder. Wait till the Cardinals draft Kyler Murray, and then 5 minutes after the Dolphins draft Kyler Murray,
I don't think he's
send him a 3rd
there.
rounder.
I think Josh Rosen's, if the Cardinals have already made up their mind and they're already going to take Murray,
right.
Rosen will be gone as soon as that decision has been made. They're not going to wait till the season starts. They're not going to keep both guys. They're going to move him just so they can get draft picks and assets, and that way they can use that 1st-round pick on Murray and then maybe retool with those other picks or something.
He's worth a 3rd rounder.
Yeah.
So. I give him a 3rd rounder. I give him a 3rd rounder and give him a 3rd and a 7th. Give him the 7th that we just got in the Tannehill trade. You know, make Tannehill a little more useful. Give a little connection to the next quarterback, because I think Josh Rosen's a fantastic quarterback. I think he's a field general.
We'll see.
You know, but all last year he was a deer in the fucking headlights.
Yeah, well, they were struggling. They didn't have any protection.
He was playing behind a shower curtain.
Their receiver, as good as Fitzgerald is, I mean, he's a little bit past his prime. And
yeah, but he was playing behind. He was playing behind 5 guys who were barely interested in fucking playing.
Well, they were beat. Their offensive line, I think, had the most injuries. Yeah, they were really beat up.
Now, I know there's some backup offensive lineman for the Arizona Cardinals who's watching this podcast right now going, hey, motherfucker, I played hard. I got paid. Who are you? Well, I'm not an offensive lineman that gave up a record number of sacks.
Yeah, they were really bad last year.
Bad.
Yeah.
And I'm old and fat, and I bet I could have played right guard on that team and at least kept somebody from getting by me.
You know what? I don't think you're that old. Honestly.
Shut up.
No, sorry. Okay.
You shut up. God, I can't take this disrespect. You know, this is only supposed to be a half-hour show. We done fucked that all up, the jibber-jabber.
We killed it. We need some stuff.
So why don't we take a break?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll come back, and you have some nice things to say about a great player.
I want to throw it out there. Yeah, there's a little guy that I think needs some mention.
And then you have something to bitch about in a new segment we call The Walkoff, which will be pretty much the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm pissed. It's just not right.
Well, okay, easy. He's angry. Okay, we're going to take a quick break so he can, I don't know, go run around the house once or whatever, and we'll be back with more Gonzo Radio Sports Desk right after this. back to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk here at the Gonzo Radio Network headquarters in palatial western Boca Raton, Florida. Now we've really got to get to business because we did a little jibber jabbering in the first segment, and I don't know, it's called talk, right?
It's easy to talk football.
Yeah, so easy to talk football. So all you got to do is play it once and be like, yes, we'll talk all about it. But onto a more genteel sport. We're talking about baseball. Now you have somebody whom you'd like to have a tribute, give a tribute to.
I do.
Because something special is happening.
You know, it's baseball time, so let's talk some baseball.
Okay.
Opening day, the 28th. We got about 10 days till that starts. Excited, of course. Hopefully everybody is. A lot of the talk has been about all the offseason moves, acquisitions, some of the younger guys. You know, Bryce Harper to the
Hair
Phillies,
flip.
Machado to the Padres.
Overpaid.
You got some injuries. You got some Severino injuries in the Yankees, but you got a really strong bullpen there. So, again, a lot of talk about some of the young guys. I'm going to mention a guy that been doing this for quite a while. He's a part of a unique club. He is going to be one of 7 players that to start opening day over the age of 45 years old.
He's almost your age.
Yeah, actually, I'm older than he is. That's terrible. So he's in a very elite group. This guy's been doing it for a long time. He broke in the majors in 2001. I'm going to throw these numbers at you. Let's see if you can guess who it is. He has over 3,000 hits. He has over 500 stolen bases. His career batting average,
Bernie Mac.
311.
He's Mr. 3000.
By the way, that's just in this country. He spent 7 years in Japan where he racked up another almost 1,200 hits.
He doesn't
180
sound
stolen bases.
He doesn't sound Latin.
He's been doing it for a long time. Pretty simple. This guy's going to be opening day. Seattle, I believe they're going to put him in right field. Ichiro Suzuki. Guy been doing it a long time.
Suzuki-san.
Been doing it the right way. Amazing.
Suzuki-san. You know, when he first came to Miami, the first time, a couple of times he came, I literally stood up and bowed. I mean, you give respect.
First ballot Hall of Famer,
Suzuki-san.
no question. Yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer, no question.
Ah.
The only problem is you got that 5-year mandatory wait there for the Hall of Fame inductee.
Yeah.
He's going to be an AARP citizen, member before he can.
He's going to be 100 before he gets in.
Well, that's going to be interesting. They may have to wheel him up there to give his little commencement speech there.
Well, let's remember Minnie Minoso. Okay, Minnie Minoso was playing minor league baseball and Caribbean League baseball when he was 60.
Wow.
Okay, Minnie would not stop playing.
Yeah, was it Juan Marichal? Was another pitcher that pitched well?
Juan was like 57 and pitching in the minors.
Well, his birth certificate said he was 36, but he really was.
He looked old enough to buy beer when he was 10.
Older, yeah, but again, I mean, just kudos to Ichiro.
Oh,
we've been fortunate enough to get to see him play down here as a Marlin for a few years,
right?
And I obviously being down there at the stadium, we were able to do that. But again, just a guy that went about it in so many ways. Can get you the single when he needed to. You know, he had said numerous times through the translator, of course, that if he wanted to hit home runs, he could be a home run hitter. But that wasn't his style of play. He could have easily hit 30 or 40 homers a year. His swing was just developed, and he fine-tuned it in such a way where he just hit the gap. Can you imagine shifting on Ichiro? He'd hit 600.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that.
You destroy it.
Yeah.
Because he can put the ball anywhere he wants.
I mean, that's what true hitting was. He's just not only just a pioneer of the game, a guy that went about it the right way. Kudos to him. 45 years old, opening day starter in Major League Baseball, first ballot Hall of Famer. It's going to be exciting. Now, they are opening in Tokyo, and, you know, good for Seattle, good for Ichiro.
You know who gives him a lot of credit for improving his game? Christian Yelich.
I believe it.
Because Christian Yelich said, all I did was just watch what he does.
Why
just
would you not?
Shut up and watch what he does.
Why would you not?
Shut up and learn. And because, I mean, Christian was already established. He'd already been in the majors for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
When Ichiro came along to Miami for that 1 year that they intersect.
Right.
And he's like, I learned so much from watching him.
I believe it.
I'm sure that everybody was impacted. If you weren't a complete idiot, all you do is watch what he does.
I'm going to give you one more name on that list, that 45 and older club. Started for the Marlins, inaugural season, 2 years in a row. He started opening day for the inaugural season for the Marlins. And knuckleballer Charlie Huff. I think he was 46 when he got the opening day nod, and then the following year he was 47 years old, got the opening day nod again.
Yep. So and he came in fresh off of his day job as a Walmart greeter and jumped right on the mound.
Now, what does that tell you about us? We got a shot to do something, right? We're older than that slightly. We could do something for the first time.
I'm 39. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Sorry, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Well, now, speaking of crotchety old news, okay, we have a new segment that we are debuting. It is called the Walkoff. If you got that graphic, slide the Walkoff in.
Take a look at that.
Nice. That's podcast money, right? That's
Walk it off.
yeah. Now walk it
off. Get out.
Wipe it off.
So, yeah. But turn around. We need you.
Yeah. But don't go anywhere yet.
Don't go far.
Don't go far. We might need it again.
Yeah.
But you seem to have you have layered issues.
Today's theme for my inaugural walk-off segment is the fan.
The fan.
Without the fan, where is the sport? Any sport, baseball, football. If you're not watching it, if you're not buying the merchandise, if you're not, putting the money into the product so that these players can make the money they make and the teams can run their businesses the way they do, there would be no sport. So here's my little fan rant. Recently,
Pro-fan rant. Some profanity.
Interesting. See, that's where that comes from. That's wow. See, all that age brings wisdom.
I'm
really
on fire tonight.
Here's my rant about the fan. Please help the fan. You've seen the most recent issue with the Knicks with that retard owner Nolan, and how he basically wanted to throw that fan out of his building because he didn't like what he had to say.
Wait, quick tangent. Who is the worst sports owner in sports?
It's got to be him.
Is it him or is it Daniel Snyder? At least Snyder tries and gets some results.
Yeah.
Okay, go right ahead.
So anyway, back to the
Dolan's
rant.
an idiot.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Now again, this is the angle for tonight. Again with the NBA,
An idiot with a lot of money. But go ahead.
Russell Westbrook tonight is not in the starting lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Suspended.
Okay, suspended. Here's the reason why.
He was bad.
17 technicals he's got on the season. The NBA rule states that if you acquire 16 unsportsmanlike technical fouls, there is a difference. There is a sportsmanlike technical foul and an unsportsmanlike technical foul.
Otherwise known as cussing at the refs.
Or making somebody angry or making fun of their wives or something like that. So 16 is the rule. You acquire 16 technical fouls, you don't play the next day. Why is that fair? Why is that fair for the fan that bought those tickets 3 months ago, that's taken their family down to the stadium or down to the arena to watch their favorite players play? More than likely, they had that player's jersey on to go to that game to watch that player play. Now, what service does that do to the fan? Now,
well, no, wait a second. How much leeway do you give a player to verbally abuse an official or
there are other ways to hurt the player. Money?
Fines?
Sure.
Well, he got fined, but it's, listen, it's 16 fouls over an 82-game season, not counting the playoffs.
I agree.
Okay, that's 16
First of all, what is
accrued
16?
personal
What kind of
fouls,
arbitrary
technical
number
fouls.
is 16? Lose a game check, lose 2 game checks. You have to develop a system that is going to hurt them financially. That's the only way. Now, you taking $2 from me is not going to be the same as taking $2 from the next guy.
Right.
You have to build it in place where even if it's based on the player's salary, it's a percentage of their salary. How about that? Whatever that number is. My point is this, is that what are you supposed to do? Honey, get on the phone quick. Get on eBay. Get rid of our tickets. I mean, we're not going. Sell them quick. Westbrook's not playing. I'm just saying it's just not fair. The leagues, the organizations, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, whatever it is, needs to ensure that the fan has the best experience, regardless. Regardless, doesn't matter. You can't tell me that there's not something else in play that can put that man on the court. The NBA already has...
It's a conduct foul, though.
It doesn't matter. He could have poked somebody in the eye with a pencil. The penalty should not be that you don't get to watch your favorite player play the next night. I'm sorry, that's not the way it should be. Something else should be in place. And the only thing I can think of is
But at some point, the player has to take responsibility for not accruing so many technical fouls.
Listen, my issue is it could be one technical foul and he gets a monumental fine. I'm not debating the number of fouls. I'm not debating the what he's done in terms of the fouls. I mean, there's a reason why he got the technical fouls. What they were, I don't know, but there's a reason. There should be a penalty. The penalty should not be on the fan. The penalty should be on the player or the organization or whatever else is responsible for causing the behavior.
Can you imagine if that rule existed while the Detroit Bad Boys were going on?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
They wouldn't be able to field a team by December.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. And the NBA already has a problem at this point in the season with players resting or these injuries that they're... Kawhi Leonard's played twice in the last 2 weeks. A healthy body on a playoff contending team, on a new playoff contending team. He's played twice in the last 2 weeks. He's resting.
Well, you have to regulate it. What can I tell you?
I don't agree.
You have to regulate it. You have to listen. If you regulate the rest periods, then they have to start declaring some sort of injury.
Oh, you mean regulate it in terms of making it a better system so that
Yes.
Oh no, I agree with that totally.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you have to create something environment where
the road game on a back-to-back. You're resting. Sorry, fuck the road fans. You can fuck the road fans.
Listen, this is why people get annoyed.
Road fans will be happy not to see Kawhi Leonard.
This is why people get annoyed with athletes, is because they think the lives are privileged. They think these guys don't give the same effort that the average man does. Whether you agree with it or not, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm just saying
It is a hard job.
you don't. Listen, I don't disagree with what the effort has to be put forward, the sacrifices. That's fine. I'm not the guy to tell what an athlete should make and not make.
Right.
Or a doctor, or a policeman, or a teacher, or anybody. If a teacher's making $1 million, who am I to say that teacher shouldn't make $1 million?
Right.
That's not my place.
It's a good fucking teacher.
That's a really good teacher. But my place, what I'm trying to say clearly is that, listen, do it for the fan. The rant here is for the fan. Help the fan. Get the fans there. Without us, without the fan, we don't have a forum. And there's no games. And there's no sports. And there's no anything. It's fan first.
Okay, I can understand and I can agree that, yes, the customer is always right. The customer, you should provide your form of entertainment for your customer. Definitely. But there has to be a line. And the player, as a professional, cannot cross that line.
Then that player gets punished, not
Right.
the fan. You punish the player.
Okay.
You don't send the
part of
player
that
home.
punishment is sending
if you
that
have
player
a bad
home.
day at work and you have a fight with your boss, or not even your boss, your supervisor, and I say fight, maybe you cross the line. You think he's going to send you home? No, why? Because you're not producing if you're home. If I own a company and I'm mad at my employees, if I can't fix the situation, I'm certainly not going to send them home. That's not going to give me any production. If my workers are home because they misstepped, then what do I do with my company? What do I fill their shoes? Do I hire somebody else? What are my options? The options are play. You get paid to play the game, and you should be on the court. Not on the court because you broke a rule. Okay, you broke a rule. You hurt somebody's feelings, especially these NBA refs. I think half of them are divas anyway.
Oh, no, the NBA refs, they want to be part of the game.
Of course, they're divas.
They're part of the game.
So you can't tell me that half those calls weren't either makeup calls or he stepped on somebody's dick or whatever the case is. He pissed somebody off, and now he's got a tactical foul. Do you think his 11th foul warranted him sitting down this game?
I love NBA and Major League Baseball officials, umpires and referees. You see them, they get so animated in their calls, like they're all up in the game.
Yeah, they shouldn't be a part of the game.
Yeah, I can honestly,
not in that sense, at
right?
least. Yeah.
I can honestly say that even though it's a brutal and emotional and violent game, football referees don't necessarily. You might see a referee with the mic, first down, but he's just
And Hockley, he was a beast.
Oh yeah,
I mean he's a household name.
Yeah,
okay,
and that's fine. That's the excitement of the game. But you won't see a referee in the NFL vigorously calling it. You won't see that. But in the NBA, you see that. And you'll come running out of the court and the possession that way.
You know what though? You wonder if that's almost I don't want to say it's an indictment of the sport, but basketball's a me sport, right?
Yeah.
It's a star-driven sport. It's not so much what's on the jersey in the front.
A small group of individuals.
Yeah, as opposed to what's on the jersey in the back.
You guys mind if I interject really quick?
Sure.
What?
I feel like the only there's two sports, football and the NHL. Those are the two leagues where they the refs actually take the job seriously.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they can hear your mic over there. Good. Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But as far as referees getting emotionally wrapped up in the game, and you can see them performing and wildly gesticulating and getting emotionally involved. That's definitely Major League Baseball umpires. I mean, how many other?
Listen, Angel Hernandez, baseball. I mean,
oh my God!
I've got lists. There's names out there. These guys. Listen, but in every sport, in every walk of life, you've got personalities.
But how many other sports do you actually get to go nose to nose, yelling and screaming in the face of an official?
Oh, that baseball is wonderful.
I mean, come on.
Please, at some point, go back and go look at Sparky Anderson fights with
Weaver,
the umpire,
Anderson,
Lou Piniella,
Billy Martin.
Even recently, Joe Madden. He's lost his mind.
Joe.
Oh man, that's a great.
Joe's
guy to
coming
watch.
out. Joe's coming out to get his money's worth.
To me, the top three would be probably Lou Piniella, because he was when he threw second base. Oh my God. Jim Leland is another one that lost his mind.
I've seen Jim Leland get thrown out.
Oh yeah. And man, there's so many. And Joe and Madden, he's another one that behind the glasses and the frosty hair.
When he's coming out, he comes out and he very quietly asks a question. And then when you give him the answer he doesn't want, then all of a sudden he turns into Satan.
Yeah, the Tasmanian devil. He looks like.
He comes out professorially. So what exactly happened? What exactly is your call?
And then he smacks you with a sabermetric hook, right in the face. Boom.
And then he gets on top of you and starts going to town like an MMA fighter.
Take that.
Okay. Well, is your rant done? Have you closed? It's all about the fans.
Did I sell it enough?
I think you sold it enough.
Okay, I'm done.
Because I'm running tight on time.
I'm done.
People are going to start filling in around you.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, that's going to wrap things up for us. Do we have any other? We don't have any more. Right? We've run out of graphics. Okay. Oh, that's all we have is the end. Well, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Gonzo Radio at the Gonzo Radio Show at Gonzo Radio Show. No, it's at Gonzo Radio Show on Twitter.
Read the prompter.
No, I don't have the notes. I'm just trying to do it off the top of my head. On Instagram at Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Haha, got that right.
Perfect.
And on Facebook, the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Check us all out. We're going to be starting a new segment called Ask Maz, where he's going to start giving fantasy advice for those of you who are having trouble with your fantasies.
Next week, baseball season is ramping up.
Yes, it is. So on behalf of myself and the Maz, I'm Big Daddy Gonzo, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace out.